It's pretty dope.
Okay.
Kuji's dead.
All right, so we jump back in immediately following that. Jordan, what are you doing?
I guess I'm just gonna like fall to my knees, and then I'm gonna turn to everybody else and be like, "Do we follow them or do we hang out?"
Oh shit, we're really doing this? I don't like this.
Let's change it up a little bit
I
today.
hate this.
We're gonna do
You
like
all
a prelude, then
No prelude. 2-week break, straight in. It's like when
I
you're
literally
playing
left early last time.
It's like when you're It's like when you're playing a single player game and you quit for a long time and you load in, you're immediately on like a crazy boss fight and you're like, I have no clue how to
I
play.
don't remember how to play.
Fine.
Give me a second.
Fine. Oh, the Emery streams.
Oh no!
We're gonna get DMCA'd. It's just Richard's.
I'm
Look
blushing
at
so
the
hard right now.
stream. Look at
He's
the
like-
stream.
You go back in all the videos, and it's him looking at that other monitor until somebody says Torment, and he's like, "Yeah."
Even if she's not live, it's just VODs on YouTube or something.
T minus 3 hours.
Did you have to restart it?
Get this man stats.
Yeah.
Look at his stats.
Fine. We will, I guess, give a recap because Nevin had to go last time. So, our party, our group of champions, deep within the bowels of the Infernal Plane, had been traversing through what they thought was a volcanic and lava-infested hellscape for quite some time, looking for the only spark of civilization in this place, the City of Brass, led by the former resident of the Infernal Plane, Akuji. Wandering through this place, you had encountered multitude of devil hunting parties, several strange creatures around the area, and as you left your short refuge in this tower and began wandering, you noticed there was some strange repetition going on. Every time you would walk for countless hours and look back, it almost would look like you would make no progress to the landmarks in front of you. Further going on, it almost seemed to be that the landscape was tricking your mind or manipulating itself physically to make you feel trapped. And through several skill checks and saving throws, some of you were able to deduce that there was some sort of mixture of both. Some chattering noise on the wind and some magical interference, whether from a creature or just the Infernal Plane itself. The landscape began to shift from those craggly, volcanic, porous rocks and sulfuric plumed skies to a bristling, hot, bright white, bone-dry desert. Realizing the trick being placed upon yourselves, you saw new land formations with the similar landmark you had been walking towards, this sort of canyon where a flowing, almost ethereal-looking lava river traversed through. You saw a long train of dark figures just continuing across this desert scape. And upon looking further, you noticed they were humanoid in size and nature and bound in some way. A mile-long train of what appeared to be captured people, extending across the desert with several riders of some sort of beast patrolling this convoy. As the party began to regain its senses, and looked out at its surroundings, it saw a form of civilization, a barren, almost camp-like set of buildings made of bones, warped and rusted metal, very Mad Maxy, with twisted spires of this bone-like spiked material. Entities hung, splayed out, guts and entrails protruding out, as well as a rummaging of individuals within this camp, devilish in nature, all sorts of different shapes and sizes, as well as more normal looking humanoids, humans, elves, dwarven in stature. As you proceeded further, the chattering rattled on the wind yet again, and a sandstorm swept across Redalus and Akuji, taking them up. Redalus narrowly avoiding a spike in the back and becoming paralyzed. Akuji unfortunately fell to this, whatever entity it was. As Redalus began to run outside the clouds, Tormund, Gaius, and Marco and Lepitor began to move forward in this sandstorm. And as it began to clear, they were met with 13 large, eerie-looking creatures that almost looked to be completely formed of bones. And Lepitor had recognized these to be bone devils. Ravenous beasts, highly intellectual, and fierce warriors here in the infernal plane. And with Akuji in the middle, the largest one of these devils, wrapping its bone-like tail around and leaving, Tormund would not stand for it, rushed forward to rescue his friend, was able to lock down the large entity for a time, but not before the rest of this group of devils would lay into him, bringing him close to the brink of death before an enormous divine presence was ushered out from the body of Lepitor Hoslo, a channeled divinity spreading out and casting out these fiends. And whatever fiends were left, I believe it was 9, 8 of them failed their saves with advantage, and only 1 remained, basically casting out all of these incredibly powerful entities out into the desert dunes and leaving Tormund to be resuscitated. But Akuji was captured and taken in the direction of that slave camp. Our heroes return back to the game tonight with the immediate healing of Tormund. I believe you guys gave him whatever you were gonna to bring him back already, but whatever healing and everything else you want to do is up to you all. We return back on the dark desert sands of the infernal plane. Heroes, what would you like to do?
So I believe I had given Tormund 50 points of healing. Is that right?
That
Good.
sounds right. I remember
Good
one
lay
big
on
lay on
hands.
hands. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Probably wasn't your smartest play.
Brave nonetheless.
Does he always do that?
Kinda.
No.
Kinda, yeah. I think you thought maybe you were just gonna take them all on. You just got in there and they got him.
They took him.
Kuji has been taken.
As far as we know, he's still alive, but
Who knows for how long?
You all recall before the encounter had begun, the creatures had spoken some language to you all unrecognizable to your group and had tossed a large satchel out filled with some sort of metallic sounding objects and landed in the sand before the fight.
I don't remember, but did I go and pick it up or?
I think you did. Somebody did. I
Okay.
remember that.
Well, if no one went to go pick it up, I'll pick it up. Oh, I did? Okay. I guess I'll...
As you begin to stand up and look, you see all of you look at Torment as the magical healing is spreading through his body. There are like large, like tennis ball sized holes and like the ribs, the side, the shoulder, like 5 on his back to back as the skin starts to stitch back together.
Oh my.
You see an incredibly durable human, and for a moment you all like take in like, holy shit, that was a lot of brutality we just witnessed.
Damn,
Jesus Christ.
that's a tough dude.
he's right.
I believe he was taken to that camp we saw earlier, but I feel like we barely survived this encounter. I don't know if we head to a camp full of them if we even stand a chance. I don't know, unless you have a plan. Hopefully better than the last one.
Can I just... Can I inspect the satchel that they dropped?
You look into the large rucksack-like material. You see, actually, make me an investigation check.
Go beans. Huh, that's gonna be bad. It's gonna be 7.
As you, it's a very large sack. Maybe like enough to hold like 2 or 3 pounds. The material does have the feeling of burlap, but there's a strange coloration to it. Kind of dark, almost kind of like fungusy a little bit, kind of green and brown in nature. Just the whole bag is colored that way. As you look in, you see is filled with these strange but slightly familiar, tiny, almost metal coins, but they're more rectangular, like with rounded rectangular edges, kind of like gold ingots, kind of very thin, dark black metal, and you see inscribed on them are some sort of text with a symbol emblazoned on them, and you see just from like an eye view, there's probably 800 of these in this bag. It's a fairly heavy satchel.
I'll pull out like some of the metal pieces and I guess ingots. Do any of you guys recognize any of this currency? I don't even know if it's currency at this point. Yeah, take it.
You recognize, I don't remember who did it also before, but these are the similar kind of coinage you found on those hunters that had attacked you
God damn it,
earlier.
what-
They had a lot less of them, maybe only a few dozen or so, if I recall. But these appears to be a large wealth of them. Okay, roll me a nature check.
Didn't Akuji have these? Like we just gave them to Akuji?
He knew what they were.
He knew what they were. Okay.
You detect a intense irony taste from this. This is some form of either steel or straight up iron currency or coin. It kind of looks like the Super Mario coins, but small.
Do any of you guys recognize the symbols, the signals on them? Signias?
Good
Good job, detective.
Good work.
Libertor, I don't know. Have you met these creatures before?
I've encountered one or two before, perhaps. Never this many, never more than one at the same time. Definitely
help?
tough sons of bitches, I'll say.
Did they hold the same intelligence as these that we faced?
It was hard to tell. I mean, they were just individuals. We didn't see them communicate or anything. I mean, once they came through, we killed them. So,
Well, how about this? Do they usually take hostages?
not that I've seen, thankfully.
Okay.
But I don't assume they would let us buy a Kuji back if we try to make a return.
By the looks of this, it looks like they're trying to buy a Kuji.
Yeah, I think
Indeed.
Akuji told us that encampment or something. That's what they did, right? They took souls from people or something like that, or something along those lines. So probably thought he could pay for him and just took him, and then has some kind of plan for him there. I think we should follow them. I don't think we should just let them take him.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of selling our friends
Right.
to slavery. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You got it. Yep.
I don't
Can we
want
get
to
a-
play too much of a devil's advocate here, but that was our guide, was it not? That little demon guy.
I think he would have been the guide once we got to the city. I think he was just as lost as we were out here now. But I do think he will be very useful even still when we get there.
And I'm not backing down, but maybe we should really iron out a plan.
Well, the thing is for the past how long have we been here now?
It's been
57 years.
It's been almost like a full day, so like 8 hours, 8 or 10 hours ish.
Yeah, I think for the last 6 hours for me at least, I thought I was somewhere completely different. So I don't know how good a plan is going to do us right now, other than we got to go that way and hope it works out.
I understand. I came down here for adventure, certainly getting that. I don't want to die down here. That's becoming increasingly more prominent.
It's not the group to come with, buddy.
Yeah, I was gonna walk over and like slap you on the shoulder. Like, well, this is what you signed up for, bud.
I'll
in
be
that
surprised
case-
if you live all the way to the end, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I do mean it.
Well, can I have one of those coin thingies, Redulus? I would like to keep it for my trophy room for when I do
Awesome
survive.
one, real quick.
Thank you.
I mean, there's
Marco,
a shit ton for everyone.
could you remind the group about how old does Marco look?
Oh, Marco is
15.
Well,
yeah, he's
Crisp 18-year-old.
no, I feel like he's in his like late 20s, early 30s. Like has been around and adventured. He's not like crazy young,
Yeah.
but he's also not Lepitor old.
not hundreds of years old.
As you flick over one of these strange coins and he catches it, there's a brief moment for both Tormund, I believe, and Redulus, maybe Lepitor. I'll leave that up to you, but that you notice that Marco's been pretty much smiling the whole time, which is a strange feeling in this group, or it has been for some time. Even after all of that, as he's in a hellscape and catches the coin in his hand, he's shine a little bright.
Can I do an inside check on Marco?
Sure.
Song played just the right sound at just the right time.
It's like
Yeah.
the Among Us.
Yeah. It almost
Uh,
made me look around and say,
24.
green, green, green.
What are you looking for?
Is he actually here to like profit? Like self gain over like world gain? Yeah.
Marco, you can roll either a deception or persuasion check. Don't tell me. You can private message me what it is. Just tell me the number and then DM me what you chose.
The suspense.
Deception or
Persuasion. Sure. Okay. We'll use the same roll. Okay. Yeah, roll me an insight check. Tormund, to you, this guy looks like he's having the most fun he's ever had. Like just the pure glee in his eyes. I'll let you explain, Marco, what you look like. You got a 22, so
Yeah, Marco, I would say, is kind of like the definition of like aura and swagger. That's his whole thing. There's like an innate confidence within him that, I don't know, just like kind of permeates through his entire being. And so it's gotten him through a lot of things. And in this situation, it would definitely show itself in a dark place as like kind of like an inner light, I feel like.
you get a feeling that he's exuding he's here for the adventure and not just the treasure. But there's like a minor like flamboyancy to him that he does enjoy niceties, Redolus.
He's like 5'3".
He's 5'8".
4'9", 100 pounds.
Nothing. I just shot a number out there. It's not a dig. Relax.
Dagger's a short sword.
Why'd you say short
Well-
sword?
What would y'all like to do?
Yeah. Y'all are done looking at me. We can go ahead and head out with this plan of yours.
Cocky son of a bitch.
Also,
Yes, looking out. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
is there like a nighttime? I forget. Like, it hasn't gotten brighter or darker, has it?
Nope.
It's like
I
a-
mean, it feels a little bit brighter because instead of like a dark red skyline, like ash-filled sky, it's just kind of like a sandstormy kind of sky, diffused light but intense. So it still looks like it's like the middle of the day.
Just looking out towards that camp that we're gonna head to. Is it like wide open space? Like there's like they're gonna see us coming, or is there kind of some sort of a path that we could take to try and kind of cover and gain a vantage point?
Make me a perception check.
Could I
Persuasion.
also do that?
Yes. Are you looking for the same thing?
21.
Yes, I was going to kind of scout out where to go, what it looks like.
Okay.
S- 16.
Both of you, as you crest over and further in the direction you saw the large bone devil retreat with Ikuji, you take in that this encampment was not that far, maybe an hour or so away. But you do see it is at the bottom of this kind of large sand dune with these strange sand structure like thing, almost looking like tree stumps rising out, but the color of the sand lining the path down. The shape of the camp is like a large hexagon. It is not completely walled off. There are sections where there are cages and shacks, and there are gaps as well. Guidus, you see the same kind of path that rounds out into this main front entrance, where you see that extending line of chained individuals, basically spewing out into the desert. That appears to be like the main way in, but because there's so many gaps, basically before every corner of the hexagon, you could. It looks from here you could go in at any of those spots. It looks like a very open thing. It's not covered at all. It's like a bunch of tents and caravans put together. Lapitor, what you take out more so is that there are a large quantity of individuals here, like jam packed in. It looks like you're looking at like a small, almost like town sized thing. There are people extending out of every corner. And the strange part about this is you notice some of them are like kind of dark, this kind of almost shadowy visage, without much form. And then there are others that have like a very physical form. And you see these to be different sorts of devils. Large ones, some with large chains wrapped around them, others with hooks for fingers. You see one with just barbed wire wrapped around its entire body, and it's trudging through this group, this large, like 8-foot or 18-foot tall devil. Yeah. So you make out more so that there's many ways to get in. This place is crammed with devils, and then this other sort of humanoid type entity here.
Can we make out where, like, a specific part where like prisoners might be kept, or is like all we can see are just like the carts and the demons?
You see all manners, dozens of carts, cages that are stacked 30 feet high up with chains wrapping around them. The entire place looks to be like is used as a prison of sorts.
Okay.
And at the very center is this large spiraling tower that looks almost to be made of cage-like material as well. That extends out with multi-levels on it, like a small umbrella, and then a big umbrella, and then a larger umbrella. This almost watchtower looking thing straight in the middle.
Fuck. Does anybody have any ideas on how to get in this place?
Well, we do have a stealthy one. We could probably get a little closer before being detected, right?
Put him down.
Somebody stop that man.
Just let him do his thing.
I want to tie his shoes together so he trips and falls.
Yeah, I kind of think the same thing. I think if we're all going to go over there, we'll stick out pretty bad. I don't know. I think maybe we just move closer. That we can just find more out the closer we get.
Close as we can.
Yeah, I thought about that, but also I just keep thinking about what Akuji said about people like us aren't here.
Yeah, we stick out.
We're outcasts for sure. And I think.
Well, what if
everybody
we
will
were
notice
able to
that.
disguise ourselves?
They're not like us.
I didn't say it.
Um,
I gotta go. I can't do this anymore. But yeah, I think we just move that direction. Maybe we can see other people going in and out, and if it looks normal, we can try that.
And if it's not far, we can move stealthily as a group.
wait, hold on. How far are we to that place?
It's like an hour, so like maybe 3 or 4 miles.
I have a spell that can help us.
What is that?
Plane shift.
It'll let us sneak
Okay.
in a lot easier. I have passed without a trace,
Oh, sick.
so
Big ups.
that'll help us get
Definitely
through
helps.
there
How
if
long
it's
can we do that?
within an hour. If I upcast this, does it up the time?
I
No.
don't think so.
Okay.
Nope.
So we should probably get as close as possible without getting detected, and I'll cast it.
And again, remind me real quick, or I guess looking around, who's the chunky boys with heavy armor on? Just you?
I believe him and Tormund.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
guys,
maybe
you're-
out of
Being
my
sneaky
element.
is hard
Flagging.
with these two. But that's all we can do. We just have to try.
We have literally like 3 Dex boys and then 2 like
But you're at disadvantage if you have heavy armor on.
he
Yep.
doesn't have heavy armor. He did it when he was a general, and then when they got in the desert,
Yeah, that's how he took it off.
he took that shit off.
I don't need this
It's
shit.
so hot.
Okay, if we're we're stealthing. Do you want to cast it right now, Redalus?
If we could get as close as possible, I mean,
Okay.
within an hour.
Okay. Everybody roll me a stealth check. Lapator, you are at disadvantage, but plus 10.
Plus
This is
10.
gonna be crazy.
Wait,
Yes,
plus
sir.
10, he's using it right now?
We're an hour away, aren't we?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do we also get a bonus from Mr. Paladin for these? No, that's saving throws.
Cool. This goes out. Yes, sir.
Plus 10.
29.
Nice.
This is working out, boys.
35.
Jesus
I rolled
fucking.
an 11.
We knew he was gonna be high.
21.
18.
Still pretty good. Now, what'd you get?
Holy shit.
29.
That's okay.
I could roll a 44 if I rolled a natural 20 with them right there.
Guys, you lose track of guidance completely.
Just we look
Just
over and
gone.
guys are just in the middle of the fucking thing, just kind of like wandering around. He's like pushing people too.
Shit,
They
that's
don't
a
even
bone
see him.
devil.
Guys, where'd guys go? It's like, guys, I'm right here. Guys.
That tumbleweed walking towards the
Guys.
camp.
Just this guy that's pushing Bond up. God.
You begin descending down this sand dune, and as the sand begins to compress against your boots, you notice that the texture here is strange. The sand should be this kind of slick, rough sandpaper-like material at your feet, but as you begin to step further, it almost, with the pressure, begins to solidify, like mud, like wet mud. But there's definitely not a drop of moisture anywhere near here. As you look back, you see your boot prints are like almost getting implanted into the sand. But alongside that, you notice the sliding trails along these desert dunes descend down into the valley where this camp lies. And once you crest over this small hill of sand, you cast your spell. Maybe about 20 minutes of a descent down in. So you all begin to move forward and begin to notice this creature begins about 30-40 feet to your right as you're descending down this winding path of sand. One of you makes out a noise, this like sound, this like growling beast. You all begin to stop at Gaius's command. Even through this magical miasma, this large canine-like creature, about the size of a warhorse, but with panther-like intense muscles on its body. You see a large creature with basically like a Pac-Man head, and the teeth are these large jabbing like anglerfish jaws that extend way further. No eyes, just one large mouth, and it begins to crawl over, and on top of it you see another devilish figure. This one almost looks to be completely wrapped in bloodied bandages with barbed wire wrapped around as well, piercing little wells of red coming out. One of the riders from the desert crests over a hill, and as you back up into the wall, you feel the sand, as it's supposed to slide down your back, harden up slightly, allowing you to compress yourselves in the wall of sand. As the rider crests over, one of the paws dig into the top of the hill above your head. Little clumps of sand roll down, hit the side of Lepitor's face, runs down his beard. You hold your breath, and you hear the creature on top. And the beast crests back over, and you wait for a moment, another moment. And then all a deep breath comes out. Being only now 10 feet from the outskirts of this encampment, all of you make out. There are winding, almost like rolling grassy hills of the sand dunes here, hiding a lot more of the topography behind this place. It almost appears to be a ravine on the other side of this camp. So if you guys are looking north, to the north of you with the camp being in the middle, you see a large drop-off. Straight up, no like cliffs or anything, just a solid drop-off. And then maybe a mile until you see another set of land on the edge of that ravine. A mile-large ravine sets on the north side of this camp. You also make out that there aren't really guards here. Apart from those rider things, there aren't really like soldier-esque entities. There are creatures that walk the line of these chained individuals, but they don't hold like weaponry. At the most, you'll see them hold a whip-like thing and lash out the group moving through the sand. As far as openings go, the entrances are fairly active and buzzing, the main one being highly congested. So if you're looking to be sneaky about this, you're basically walking up to a camp in the middle of a widespread desert. There's not like a lot of like intermingling. So you take in at that moment, it might be more difficult to stealth your way in on a normal, like blending in incognito sort of way.
Close enough now, though, that can we like see what the prisoners are, more or less, and like what the people are going in and out of?
Yes, make me a perception check.
Can I help him with that?
Yes.
Well, thanks. 24.
You take in what you thought in the beginning, that these chained individuals with this kind of like almost faded, blurry, translucent nature to them, these appear to be like normal silhouettes of humanoids. You see some have elvish features, some have human, dwarf. You see even tiny little short gnomish figures there, as well as several other draconic featured creatures along the line. These appear to be people, or at what Akuji had mentioned before, at least some sort of soul entity, if you could call it that. But it's strange that it has like a very definite shape. Like you could make out separate figures to them. It's blocky, but you can make it out. There are also two different sets of what you would call devils here. There are some that are large and monstrous, kind of like the bone devils. You see several of those wandering through, dragging entities with chains. You see several others, as I described before, barbed wire covered ones. One's just like wrapped in bandages that wave in the wind. Others that look like frightening nightmare-like shadow creatures that walk through. But you also see something that you haven't thought of for a long time. But you see other creatures who are normal size, like the size of a normal person, 5 to 6 feet. Humanoid stature. Some have a set of wings on their back, others tails, but a definite set of horns that extend out in all sorts of different patterns. You see what a Kuji is, and what you've only seen once in your entire life are these devil-like humanoids. You see hundreds of them sparsed out. Some of them wearing weapons, some of them just wearing robes. Whatever these devil-like creatures are, Akuji was one of them, and you see them spaced out here amongst all the other ones. Not in chains or bound, but just normal citizen.
But we don't see, because they're all not in chains or bound, we don't see
Koji.
anybody like Akuji bound, right?
No, in fact, you see color and like definition in their features. They are like you. They are physical and corporeal, living, breathing creatures, but not those monstrous devils. These are some sort of humanoid one. That Marco and Lepitor, you hadn't questioned in the beginning of this like group arrival, as he was one of the champions. But the strangeness of Akuji and what he was, like this charcoal skinned devil creature, now it's starting to like tickle the mind of, I've never seen anything like that or him before, and now I'm looking at a bunch here. This awful, horrible place.
So we also can't really see, or is there like a steady stream of people coming in and out of the same place? Like it looks like people are coming here to buy stuff, like somebody mentioned earlier.
There's a lot of foot traffic, and it's not like militaristic marches. There's just, it looks like a bustling city, like a market. Can you make me a perception check?
Nope. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you
Way to
see,
stand up for yourself, buddy.
nobody's done that. It works. I'm gonna buckle every time.
I'm not a fighter.
24. You do in fact see at least 5 or 6 more of these bone devils. A lot of them are pretty small, smaller even the ones that you encountered not too long ago. You do notice that a clump of them are bustling around one of the side entrances. There's a brief moment you catch the glint of like red material, the color of the inlay of Akuji's suit, as at one of the entrances there is a brief altercation between this group of white bone devils and a group of these almost like frog-like devils, huge horns up the side of the head and large gaping mouth, and they run into each other slightly. There is a brief flash, and then they separate and go their separate ways, with those frog devil creatures walking out of the camp and the bone devils entering deep. But you think and feel pretty confident you saw the convoy arrive at one of the side entrances.
And there he goes.
Tor-
I really did mean just let him do his thing.
Yeah. There's like these large leathery tarped walls. It's not even like you could cut through the tarp and walk through them. They're more like tent-like structures, but large, like 30, 40 feet tall. It almost looks like skin stretched out across wooden pillars. And those kind of mark the edges of the hexagon.
Well,
Okay, so
gentlemen,
how are we feeling?
yeah, I
We just want
think
to walk right over there.
With the skin walls.
Yeah, are we just walking right in?
if we
That sounds like a terrible idea.
if we can't sneak in because it's kind of obvious, and we can't unless anyone's got any crazy spells that I'm unaware of, we can't disguise ourselves. I'm leaning toward
Well, I can.
you can.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, because I could be a killer distraction.
Yeah. How congested is like the entrance of it? Like, is it pretty full, or is it like they're singling you out as you go through the gate, kind of thing? You know,
The
what I mean?
one that Tormund saw? Or just
No,
any
like-
of them?
Yeah, like if there's like one that's has more people at it than others.
The one at the very main entrance that like basically faces straight east. It's the largest of the entrances, and you see there's both people entering and exiting like in
Freely.
perpetuity. Yeah, it's just like constant traffic, but it is the most congested. Like I'm talking, there are thousands of bodies moving through there.
Yeah, I think I could get in there, no problem. But
There are some. Some of those devil humans. Those
Well,
infernal
it's-
kin.
I mean, those of you that can't really disguise themselves, don't don't draw any attention to you guys, but up to you.
I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying I'd create a distraction on the opposite end, make it easier for whoever is sneaking in.
Or killed.
yeah,
It's not a guarantee
how does
we
your
distract
plan-
the entire.
I mean,
How's
I'm
it-
pretty light on my toes. I can do it from a distance. I'm just throwing this out there. If you
Probably
guys want to
wouldn't-
go in cold turkey,
It,
You ever-
it probably wouldn't be a bad plan B.
okay.
How about what if we send Guidus for now? If Guidus, if you can get in, follow Akuji and see where they take him, and then we can shift around, get close to his area, and then we can plan. I don't know, some kind of escape plan to.
Yeah, can we mind link? Does anybody have that?
No.
That's our friend that's got taken.
Wait! I forgot to cast.
Well, I'm fine with that plan. I can go in there and look for him, but if you guys want to wait.
I guess how long do we wait before we assume you've been captured?
Yeah, you got 1 hour, and then I start playing the lute on the other end.
1 hour.
I'll tell you what, I'll go in with.
I'm gonna bury myself and hide.
All right, give me like an hour, hour and a half. You know, somewhere in there. Let me
You
know,
too.
like
Feel it out.
1 to like 3, 4, 5 hours, somewhere in there. Just give me a window.
1 hour.
But we can give
Or
you
out.
2.
All right, 1 hour.
If he doesn't come back in an hour, I'll go in looking for him.
Give him 2
Our-
hours.
Our pass without a trace will expire, correct?
Yeah, here in about half an hour.
So we can't just be in the open while we're waiting. To
Yeah,
rely
you got to
on
be
that
within
either.
30 feet of me to get the benefit.
And you're
the
going
next
with
30.
Redolus?
No, I'm waiting. I'm
Mm.
waiting for an hour. If he doesn't come back, I'm going in.
Okay.
It's, yeah. I mean, you haven't been like noticed yet. You almost had that encounter with that beast, in which you do know there are multitudes of them, dozens and dozens roaming throughout the desert. That's, but you feel like you could hide out here pretty well. It's like looking on a hill at a city.
Okay.
I'm already gone.
Oh, team on 3. I was about to get him inspiration, but
Like a
whatever.
tumbleweed, just going.
No, but I will try to. As I'm heading down there, I'll try and keep the gate that Tormund saw them go in, like kind of in the back of my mind as I get closer to the main gate, so I can
Okay.
have an idea where I'm going.
Okay.
All
So
right.
Riddleless, the
Yeah.
spell that you said that can disguise us, it can disguise all of us, like the 4 of us right now.
Just me right now. Well, pass without a trace. You know, we can pass. We don't leave any kind of footprint, any kind of
Mhm.
arcane residual. But it doesn't fully disguise us. Whereas I have a spell that can disguise myself. I don't have one to
Mm.
disguise everyone else.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just trying to think of a backup plan if we're discovered here. What do we do?
Murder.
Self-destruct.
Have some fun.
Yeah, you play the loot and then we'll be saved.
Okay.
When that thing was over top of us, I really thought about attacking it.
Just grab its paw. Just
Yeah, I thought.
try and pull it down.
Yay!
Like you just grab the paw and it just lifts you up like that and you just
Guidus, go ahead and roll me a stealth check without pass without trace.
Come in.
You got this, big dog.
42.
Son of a bitch.
I'm in. I got a coochie. I'm getting out.
27.
27. You slide down the sandscape into the bottom resting dune that eventually funnels into the large column of entities coming in and out of the city. You see there seems to be another devil on top of a cart made of pure wrought iron, like a cage, like a circus cage, wandering towards the camp. Pulled in front of it by a ball of flesh, and rolling out of it are hundreds of arms and hands. And there are 2 of them guiding this wagon towards the front of the camp. You find a moment as it passes and you're at the cresting at the bottom of the dune, roll under it and grab onto the axle. Riding this carriage, and you hearing the whoop of the arms slapping against the sand, guiding this creaking iron cage into the heart of the city. It goes. You all see him too. As you see him walk down the trail, he rolls under the cart and just sticks to the bottom of it. The ride is filled with a cacophony of angry hissing, almost like guttural roars, and then the constant creaking of this iron wagon for about 15 minutes. You hear it slow down. A voice echoes from the top of it, and you see thousands of like feet roaming around you. And as the cart comes to a stop, you see on the right side, you appear to be like parked next to some sort of wall. You are, as far as you can guess, in the heart of the city, or at least in a busy part.
You said I'm still outside of it or inside of it?
You feel like you were on it long enough to be inside the city, but you don't know how far. Now the cart has stopped.
Okay. Just peering out real quick again. Am I seeing like just devils and stuff wandering around, or
Perception check.
16?
16, you see all sorts of feet. Gray muddied ones appear to be those sort of soul entities. You see hoofed ones with large, almost like raptor-like talons, huge hoofs that beat into the ground, all manner of foot you could imagine. You notice, as well as those rolling meatball creatures. You notice them resting on the ground, kind of like when you throw one of those balls at the ground really hard, it just splats out, kind of slowly recuperating. You see them not even 5 feet from you, that they haven't noticed you. They don't appear to have any eyes.
I guess if there's enough heavy foot traffic, and I'm gonna just try and get out, cloak on, and just kind of roll with everybody.
Okay, roll me another stealth check.
Uh, 28.
You find a moment where you hear a large scuffle happening in the street. Drop down, roll out, hood up, and disappear into the crowd as the separating flow is going. You have entered the crowd successfully, bumping shoulders slightly with large, like minotaur-legged devil. It actually looks like straight up like a goat devil. Large, gnarly eyes at the side with these big square pupils looking down. Roll me a perception check.
$16.
As your hood is down, you bump into this creature. It doesn't even acknowledge you. And you begin looking around as you're moving with the traffic here, dodging in and out. The creatures, these faded entities, they definitely are just silhouettes of people. You can make out outstanding features, but you can't see like the complexities in their face. They almost just look like moving shadows walking through the streets. And these irons that bind some of them, that same metal, the coins you saw earlier, the same kind of coloration, this strange like patina to it. You also notice at least 2 of these infernal kin, like a Kuji. Different colored skin, different shades of red, but you notice there's a female and a male walking together in pair with their hoods up, kind of discussing with each other. They are not bound in any chains, but you do see a strange symbol emblazoned on their necks. You carry on moving through the crowd. What would you like to do?
I guess the way I came in, it was probably hard to tell what direction I think I needed to go, or could I kind of figure that out from where I
kind of got a little disoriented. You probably roll me an intelligence check.
Pretty good. 17.
You remember it went just pretty much in a straight line, and for a while, so it didn't really slow down too much. You're guessing you're close to like one of the wagon wheels on the outside part of the city, you only turn once. So you're not in the heart, but at one of the other corners. Kind of assess the situation real quick, and you realize the crowd you're walking with is heading in towards the more internal part of the camp. You're still with this crowd. What would you like to do?
I'll keep heading in that direction then, where I think I need to go. And are those two people you described going the same direction as me?
Yes, they are.
I'll just kind of get close-ish to them, enough that I can see if I can eavesdrop.
Okay.
About what they're talking about, or if I understand what they're saying.
What you're noticing as you're moving through is no entity is almost like immediately notified of your, like, you bumped into one that didn't even like bat an eye. These shadow entities, these souls, they don't pay you any mind at all as you're moving through them, and you do feel a physicalness to them as you're moving through. You are looking for where you think Tormund saw Akuji being taken?
Yeah.
Okay, roll me an investigation check. Or actually, I'm going to have you do a survival check.
Well, come on, let's do investigation.
No,
Come on.
you're tracking something.
14. Only got the old
You
plus
are
one
in
for
this
that.
you are in this group for quite a while before it breaks out. You see all sorts of different carts and stands set up, cages stacked really high with souls residing in them, still bound by the same chains. And the thing is they don't make noise. They just exist there, shuffling and hanging there with this like solemn or this sad kind of energy coming from them. You don't overhear anything from the two individuals in front of you, but you do hear an incessant amount of shouts coming from the center area. Surrounding that large metal tower is an enormous bazaar, a set of marketplaces, stages, coaches and wagons, crates piled high, screaming and bellowing going out. Make me an investigation check, guys.
Excellent. Um, 26.
You see around this place are different scribblings of writing, some on that leather material, some on metal, almost written in a bloody ink of sorts. You see sale prices written. I mean, that's obvious. There's like a descriptor, a dash, and then like what looks to be some sort of numeric counter. And you see also almost like wanted posters lining different parts of this marketplace. You see scrawled features of what appears to be a Akuji. But as you rip one off the wall and inspect it a little more, you see it's just like a general outline of an infernal kin. Kind of sharp pointed lips, ears, chin, and then horns. And you see here there's a large quantity written here in a script you can't read.
Is the number?
The numbers are written in a language you don't comprehend, but the way that it looks, it does appear to be like a numeric. Like you see that symbol followed like a lot. So you know there's a number there, and it's pretty big compared to the other ones you saw, but you don't know how much. Or what it's even for.
Okay. I guess I'll just kind of keep moving forward towards like where I hear a lot of the noise coming from, right?
Okay. I'll carry on with your investigation. As you move through these crowds here, something you notice is that what they are selling here is there are some materials, like construction materials. There are weaponry for sale. There appears to be some sort of barbecue-esque food that is on sale here, with some large creature being roasted across a fire. There's an enormous amount of jewelry that is being sold here, shown out across. But most of all is souls, and you see even a couple infernal kin. Now, within the bowels of the camp, you see there are some that are bound up, but these do not wear armaments or cloaks or anything. They are in the most ragged of tunics and clothing that they have. You see there are adult-like ones, and they're all adults, infernal kin, and they all like have very, very similar build. The colors change a little bit, but almost all the women look very similar. All the men look very similar, just like barely off. It's like they all weigh 195 and are like 5 feet. It's like the most constant thing. There aren't as many of these being sold, but they do appear.
And that was of the people like Akuji?
Yeah.
Does it look like they're coming from a certain area, being brought in from somewhere or anything like that, more than others?
The ones you see are already on display, whether in cages or on stages, actively being sold off. You hear a large shout, and then they get a man and woman, get dragged off the stage and given to some like red-skinned, almost spiky, porcupine-like devil who walks off with them. What you make out also with that investigation is that the ones being sold do not have any marking at all.
On their neck like the other two you were telling me?
Yeah.
Did I ever notice anything like that on Akuji?
Make me a history check.
History. Um, 13.
You do not. You do recognize too that Akuji's coloration, that kind of dark charcoal-like skin. You don't see many ones or of these creatures that aren't a shade of red, like pink to like dark red, wine red. But Akuji was not that color.
What do like the people like that these stands and stuff like the sellers? What do they look like?
They all appear to be those monstrous devils of all varying kinds.
Do I hear any like form of like comment or anything like that being spoken, or is everything being spoken?
Roll me a perception check.
18.
As you're walking with the crowd and taking all this in, there is a brief moment right at the corner of your ear. You hear more towards the center. You hear the phrase "idiot" spoken amongst the chaos.
So I really only hear like one person speaking it. Really,
you heard it come from a direction you don't know who it's coming from.
I guess I'll just keep moving in that direction. Here.
As you crest around this set of stalls, you see another two tieflings, both of them this kind of peachy red color, and a different insignia branded on the necks of them. You see them posted up next to this. It almost looks like a concierge desk. Like it looks more like a business or visitor center. These infernal kin are wearing sets of armor, no helmet, but these small little half sash capes that cover the pauldron. Each are holding a weapon, and they appear to be in some intense argument.
Are they arguing about something in front of them, like people, like
Yeah, they appear to be really disturbed by some group that's in.
Can I see what that is?
You crest around a set of barrels, moving and swirling through the crowd. You see the two infernal kin have pushed over this tiny imp-like devil that was holding some set of like it looks like paper scrawlings, like receipts across the ground almost, and they kick at them. The female infernal looks at this creature and says a hissing phrase in its voice, and then follows it up with common to the other infernal. Something,
This was supposed to be here several hours ago. The marshal's been waiting, and you don't wish to piss off. Give those to me, impotent creature.
kicks the imp again. It scrawls across the ground. The male tiefling looks, or tiefling, whatever, they're tieflings, looks at the female, and you see them hiss against their breath against some phrase, and say,
Lord Supply coming in. Must do the work quickly. Come.
scoops up the papers, takes the box, and starts walking towards the large tower.
Okay. So, how long have I been here?
Like 20 minutes, maybe 3
Okay.
days.
48 hours. I hear a flute. Just from walking around here just from now, what do I think about them coming in here? Probably a bad idea.
Make me an insight check.
A natural 20 for 21.
Oh! As you just take in what this whirlwind of merchantry is, the fleeting crowds of devils, devilkin, and the souls, there almost seems to be this like strange tranquility here of it almost feels like you're back in the real world for a second. And it feels in your heart that these creatures don't necessarily care about who's around them because they're in a business place. Like out in the wilds, it felt like there was a feral nature to these creatures. They're more ravenous and bloodthirsty, but here there's like a lawfulness to them within the society. You feel honestly a little bit more like you might be able to come in. You might be able to get them in. Like it's like you haven't been. You're very stealthy, but even just standing here in the middle, you don't think anybody notices you stand.
Okay. Did those two people walk off from the imp?
They did, and they carried the box with papers with them. And this little imp has little chains dangling from them, a different color, like a bright silver metal.
And did the imp go with him, or he's back? He's just on the ground, like.
They separate.
Okay. I guess I'll kind of walk over to where the imp was.
Okay.
And just offer a hand, offer it up.
Your almost green, like yellow tinted skin comes out of your sleeve and holds out to the imp. This little disgusting looking cyclops like int with this crazy grin that comes to the sides of its mouth, like it's an eternal smile. As it holds out the hand, it ignores you completely and says,
Must continue business. Out of the way, out of the way.
its little wings flutter in the wind and it starts to fly through the area. It didn't even like recognize you doing something at all.
Perfect. I guess I'm gonna just take the hood back then and see what happens.
The hood comes down and it's almost like the very focused hearing you were using at down, the surround sound comes out and you are buffeted by the screams and shouts of a normal marketplace. You kind of get bumped in the shoulder by another infernal kin, not wearing full armor but like almost business attire with another different marking on their neck. They bust through the streets, hiss, continue walking forward without caring. Nothing here seems to be alerted by your presence.
Okay. Then I think at this point, if I think I've just figured out this seems like it's okay for us, I'll start making my way back out towards my group.
Roll me just a straight d20.
10.
10
Can't
points.
be that bad, right? It's right in the middle. Neutral.
Hood down through the streets. You continue walking back towards the area you came from. When you take a step and out of the periphery of your vision, you see a small window in the parting crowd. Skittering through the crowds, this enormous chattering tail-like appendage wrapped around an entity with a charcoal black hand leading out. And for a brief second, you make out the Bone Devil passing by towards the center marketplace with a Kuji. Maybe like 600, 700 feet out of the corner of your eye, but you just heard it rattle in the wind and that familiar sound. You look over quickly and see a flash of Bone and a Kuji walk past.
Well, shit. Why'd you gotta do that, huh? Well, scratch that. I'm gonna put my hood back up and I'm gonna kind of break off and go back over that way to see if I can figure out where they might be ending up.
Roll me a survival check.
So plus...
We're at 1 hour, 29 minutes.
A survival.
Yeah.
14.
You push through the crowds, running through alleyways, and as you're like catching up, you see another brief glimpse of the Bonehead, like these deep horns coming out of the Bone Devil as it passes by a stall. You bump into a set of crates, and this large toad-like devil raises a fist up to smash or like maybe hit you, but you're too quick and are gone into another set of crowds. As you are following through, you enter into the main maelstrom of the marketplace as it rotates in constant motion. You're pushed back by these soul creatures, infernal kid, large devils. As you fight against them, you see ascending a part of that tower, the Bone Devil as it creaks across the winding staircase up this infernal wrought iron tower, with Akuji dragging behind. You see as it is stopped in front by a set of those goat devils with huge glaives. They motion across at one of these doorways. It speaks to them, and you get bumped in the shoulder. You lose the angle, push through, you look up, and you see it holding a paper and pointing at it, at Akuji. And the two goat devils look at him, take a deep sniff. You're buffeted by another shoulder. You lose sight. And then you find an angle again, and you see now the Bone Devil is ascending the Iron Tower once again with Akuji.
Could I assume that, like you explained earlier, there are like pieces, like pictures of people like, with prices and stuff?
Yeah,
Were
it's
any
kind of
of
like a
them,
wanted poster.
Yeah,
but-
were they detailed enough that they could be like a wanted picture, or is it more of a generic erase of a person?
You take out from that interaction and what you've seen so far, it's just a generic. If you see these or whatever for sale, they all look the
Okay.
same.
All right. Okay, that's enough for me. I mean, I kind of think can't get in there, and I know where he's at, so
Okay.
I'll head back.
The rest of you, during this hour almost of infiltration, the first 20 minutes, pretty good. You're just resting on the hill, and then you hear on the top of the hillside. And we'll take our 5-minute break right there.
Beautiful.
Uh-oh.
I hope
fucked.
that D20 I rolled a 10 on didn't have anything to do with what's going on. Richard!
I can't tell who that is.
Jesus.
It's just hair on a white ass body.
We go to break, and Richard's just
That's your real background, isn't it? That's
Oh
not,
my
that's not
God,
like a
it
meme for
is.
today, right? That's like forever there. I don't believe you, Tier
No.
3 Sephiroth, buddy. She
Tier 3
doesn't know
subs
you.
unite.
She doesn't know you. Let it go.
She does. She does.
He's got like 10 of them going through. He's just
Screenshot every Instagram post.
Be right back.
I shall return.
Me too.
Yo, what are you doing?
You know what I'm doing.
God
This is weird.
damn.
Because it's being recorded right now.
Yeah, bro.
Slurping that
That shit's crazy.
bug. Dude, it is so behind too.
Huh? It's what?
It's so behind too.
Oh. I'm scared to go to work tomorrow. It's going to be horrible.
What are you talking about?
It's saying the temperature outside is going to be 103.
Over here too.
So I don't know what that feels like temperature is going to be. What flavor is that thing?
Lime.
What brand is it?
Fuck. It's
Is
like
that
doing
out-
that little.
Is
Huh?
it the Outshine?
Yeah.
Bruh. Those are
Yep.
the best ones. The lime ones of the Outshines. I could eat boxes of those things.
Bro, these are so good.
They're delicious.
After this, I'm rushing over to the store because it closes at 11, and I'm gonna buy so many fucking boxes of these.
I'm buying 15 of them.
I'm going broke. I'm gonna give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck.
Bro, tomorrow's gonna be so fucking hot over here too. We're gonna hit 105.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great day tomorrow. I'm really excited to go to work.
It's gonna be so awesome.
It'll be a nice, cool day. Nice, relaxing, cool day. And a nice, cool house for sure.
Yeah, AC's definitely gonna work.
Yeah.
That's why Colt became an HVAC man. He's like, if the AC dies, I'm fixing it.
I'm not living a life without it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
gonna,
sure I know how to fix it.
I'm gonna create a fucking lifestyle for me, which ensures I will always have AC either near or around me.
You gotta do what you gotta do, you know. What the hell?
This sounds like Frank or Frank. What's it? Frop?
Funk?
Infernal funk.
Frank. Uh-oh, what are you doing, Colt? What are you doing?
Hi, Richard. Nevin, you look so fucking mean with that thing on.
I'll be honest, boys. I was not feeling it today, and right as I got on, I was really happy to see you guys. Shit kind of made my day.
Saw.
Dude, saw.
Made my whole world.
You're like my everything type shit.
Yo, where's my hug at?
Yeah. Tyler was like hitting my line and shit. And it's like, just let me live my life type shit.
Type shit.
That's so good. They got the whole box of Cheez-Its, dude. Look at them.
You guys want some?
I'm sorry, not Cheez-Its. What are they called?
Baked,
Whatever
baked
those are.
cheese crackers.
Baked cheese crackers. Sorry, not Cheez-Its.
Oh yes.
They're from Aldi.
I'm gonna say you need
Those
some
ones
money,
What are the
bro.
calories? What are the calories? What are the
He
serving
bought name
sizes?
brand M&M's, normal ass M&M's.
Let's read the
These are
nutrition.
better.
Let's read the nutritions. What do we got?
160 calories per serving. One serving is about
crackers.
28 crackers.
28 crack. That's not bad. That's a steal.
That is not bad at all. You count that out. Nice, dude.
That's crazy. You ever heard of a Coke Zero?
Were you pretty disappointed after last night, Colin, that you never went to
Yeah,
do your run?
I was.
Yeah.
Shit, I might. I might gotta.
Might have to cut this game a little early.
Yeah, we might be cutting at 8 o'clock. Because I told Richard, there ain't no way you guys get that bitch. I locked that shit down tight.
Jesus Christ.
God's on my side.
Hey, Emmy. Oh, who's your
Yeah.
girl?
Does
Forgot
Thomas
to switch
or-
it back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Thomas your
Right,
sister or
Richard,
something?
right.
Or the more sad part is they know who that is. And they go,
Oh, Imaru fan, are you?
you should join our Discord.
That's gross.
we post art and we have Jackbox game night
Art?
every Friday.
Jackbox game night?
Yeah, it's just a subtab that just says art, but it has like explicit.
It's all fantasy. It's
a lot
fan
of
fiction
tributes.
with Imaru and stuff.
Okay,
Kitty!
let's jump back into our
Kitty.
hellscape.
It's a big
About
ass
20
dog.
minutes after you see the wagon that Gaius had attached himself to as he enters the camp. Sorry, I got distracted by I-6.
Yeah, what's
What
going
the
on,
fuck is
bro?
going
What's,
on?
what's going on over there?
Dancing over there?
It's probably a
fucking
bad
threw
time
me,
to
dude.
reset my light.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
You are all pressed up against the hillside in this blistering heat. I need you guys to roll me con saves.
Here's where it all falls apart.
Yeah.
Even
Dirty
me?
20.
I think everyone gets +4.
Stanky 24.
Ugh, you
Nasty.
smell that? Am I part of this?
No.
You said con? Sorry, was
Yes.
that con? Yeah, okay.
Con save. Can't open my.
I got a
chairs.
12.
44.
23.
44?
I'm just kidding.
Well, all of his
going
points
on?
in the
Jordan's like,
Constitution.
what?
I've never died.
Champion too! Jesus!
It's not fair.
You all hear the sound, the growling of that eyeless, almost hound-like creature. Another one begins to crest the bottom of the hill underneath you. You are out of its sight, but something on top of this begins to have this nauseous effect on you. This aura seems to follow this female devil, almost nude, with large rusty metal strips covering, almost in like a lingerie style. She stands fairly large, about 7 feet. Muscular, large, devilish wings at the back with skin flaps between that are almost wispy thin, and a large, gnarled sword on one hand and a whip in another. Lapitor, this creature begins to ride its mount into near your group. You feel its fiendish energy begin to wear down, almost like your life force, it feels like. You gain 1 point of exhaustion. The day's journeys begins to go and take over your body, and you feel like the achiness in your wrists and your ankles and your shoulders take hold. The creature stops her mount, looks out around the camp with basically you guys are right behind her. She takes it in, snaps her whip, and you see a bright, fiery portal open. And she rides through it. And it shuts behind her. Make me perception checks, everybody except Lepitor, as you're overtaking your exhaustion. No.
10.
You said perception?
Uh-huh.
30-20.
Tormund and Redolus, you swear for a brief second through that bright fire, you saw forests and trees and grass. You swear you saw a portal back to the prime material plane. It swiftly closes behind the creature.
But the creature created it through that whip crack?
It appeared to be.
Write that down.
I'm vibing with whatever Isaac's putting down there. He's chewing on shit. Yeah, I like that. You look like a businessman. The rest of your time waiting, Gaius shows up at minute 59, right before you see Gaius hand crest over the top of the hill.
Hey, whoa.
Tormund's in a sprinter stance.
I'm about to cut this guy's self.
Whoa. No faith, huh? No faith.
Oh, gosh darn it.
We're getting a
I was
little
really
worried.
hoping to play some tunes.
Luke's ready.
Bad news, we can't go. That place is crazy.
That's bad news.
Fuck.
Yeah, we
Good
gotta
news.
leave them. It's not worth it.
It's nice knowing you, Gucci.
Your choice is yours.
Hey.
So I think we can honestly just go down there. I think it feels, as odd as it sounds, it feels like where you're all from, a normal marketplace. So I think we can just go for it.
Are we going to have to roll under the wagon too, or do you think we could walk in?
No, I think you could just walk in. I'm not 100% on all this, but I walked around there, hood down, interacted with some people, and it wasn't a big deal. So, things I did notice though was I saw other people there that are like a Kuji, but most of them were had a reddish coloration to them. Nobody looked like a Kuji did. And a lot of them, actually all of them had brands on them. Were they all on their neck, Colin?
Yeah.
Were they all the same spot?
Pretty much, yeah.
I saw they all had brands all on the neck, same area. I don't know if that would be like a sign of an ownership thing, or I don't know, but it definitely was a market where they were selling people and everything.
Do you recognize the symbol? Could you replicate it?
Could
you
I?
can
Draw
make-
in the
They were
sand.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
They were simple shapes, mostly lines, slash marks in different geometric patterns.
Yeah, I'll just kind of just draw them in the sand. There wasn't a lot to them, but
Because I
He's
have
prob- you probably saw like 4 or 5 different symbols.
I have ink, an ink pen, and oil. And what I was kind of thinking of doing was kind of maybe putting the oil just to, because I have this beautiful skin that's going to obviously be like, this guy's not a tiefling or dead. But if you could replicate the symbol, we could draw that for sure.
What?
Whoa!
Wait a minute.
Whoa!
You
Wait
face
a
is that
minute.
weird?
Whoa!
No one was thinking about it, but you.
That's crazy. I was gonna smear some oil lightly.
Oil, not ink. um,
I'm gonna do a
man,
voice.
That dipped way too close to It's Always Sunny. Like,
Oh,
so what do we do
Colin,
with the lips?
I do have another question, Colin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Guidance, if you think that's a good idea, I think we should go for it. Colin, also, could I flip my cloak because it's very colorful? Could I just flip it inside out and wear it so it's gray? Okay, it doesn't have a hood, but I figured that'd be better with the gray.
Yeah.
Okay.
well, I don't know if that's a good or a bad idea. I don't know exactly what it means. I just saw the people that were free and walking around, at least the people that looked like a Kuji, they were all marked. And again, I don't know if that could be a good or bad thing, like an ownership thing, but that might not be great. I don't know.
Did
But
did the
also-
signs differ from like soldiers and maybe citizens or even people of possible nobility?
Not really that I could tell. It just seemed like those were the only people that had them, were the people like Akuji, who were just freely walking around, not bound. But as I was about to leave, I heard that same sound of the group that captured Akuji, and I actually managed to see him. I followed to where they took him. And here's the bad news. And I'll just gesture over to the big tower in the middle of the city. They took him there. And they presented him with a piece of paper at the gate and showed him. So I don't know if that was... I don't know if he was more valuable because of his looks or if he was a special person of interest. I couldn't tell, but he got taken there.
I also have paper and parchment. If we need to replicate some sort of whatever pass to get in there.
Yeah, they were at the tower. There were guards at the tower that let him in after he showed him the piece of paper and Gucci's body. It was just 2 that I could see at the entrance, but nothing beyond that. I would say that's a pretty safe bet. Are you... I think forging something like that wouldn't be a bad idea if you can do stuff like that, but I don't know what or how it would work yet to make that a good plan.
Yeah, I'm just trying to throw whatever we can add to possibly aid, since you're saying that we can walk around in there without having to be stealthy. I just want to make sure we're not even getting a second glance, if possible.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. We might be able to try something like that. But
Little Trojan horse.
And then when we do get up there and we find a Kuji, we just steal him and fight our way out, or
I don't know. I think we need to go into that city and find somebody there who can explain something to us. how this place may work or what that tower is, you know.
Did you find anyone that could even speak like a common language we know?
Yeah, there were tieflings there that were speaking that, or I heard some other creatures speaking it. It seemed like, I don't know if everybody could by any means, but I heard it. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I thought I should have brought some of that in there so I could have tried that, but
Well, we got options.
give me two.
We should probably get out of this intense heat.
Yeah.
Not sure if you guys saw it, but the rider that came across us opened the portal. Seemed to show a bit of resemblance to our home.
Top side.
Hmm.
So true.
Speaking of the heat, is there like any difference inside the city and out?
No, there's no difference.
Okay.
Well,
Hmm.
let's walk in or what?
I think so.
Fuck.
Get the shoe polish. You just gotta get the right shoe polish.
Light brown suede.
That's what Frank Reynolds said, not me. If you get the right color, it's tasteful.
It's tasteful.
I'm legit putting stuff on me.
Okay.
I think what comes after we figure that out. I mean, I think we just need to go in there and find some info.
I mean, you figure out what the tower is, what it's for, because maybe they take Akuji up, do some transaction, and then they'll come back out. Maybe transport them somewhere else, and we could just attack then.
Was there was like a main stage for like people getting auctioned off, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch of smaller ones, but there appeared to be 3 big ones that sort of surrounded tower base.
Yeah. So, as you say that, I'll tell you that there was those 3 main stages around the place getting sold off. So that's a very good possibility that might be what's happening with him.
Well, are those stages in the open, like open roof?
Yeah.
They're like enclosed? Okay.
Yeah, they're just like lifts. I say stage, but
Just
just higher.
If there was enough time, I guess I don't know if we
An
want to
auction
bank on
block.
that. If there was enough time, I could summon a steed and maybe swoop in and
You really want
take
to
a Kuji
I
while
like this idea anyway.
swoop in,
Do it.
swoop out,
In and
run
out.
for the
20 minutes tops.
In and out. 20 minutes.
This is gonna be cake. Break. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess
Holy
for now, let's
shit.
head and get some info. And if that ends up what is going to happen, maybe we'll see. Maybe that can be a backup plan. Anyway,
We need a code word.
Code word, tiefling?
I think that's 2 on the nose.
Kuji.
Gucci.
Codename Milk.
Milkman. I like
That's too obvious.
spoiled milk.
Stank.
Milk steak. That's it. Act natural.
Yeah. Let's see if we can wander in. Let's see if I was right or wrong.
Let's do
Buckle
this,
up.
guys.
Get ready. We might need
You
a bail.
all begin moving towards the main entrance of the camp. Marco, you begin to rub some of the oil, which is mainly used for like painting, on your skin, and you begin to feel like a nice little tan kind of coming on. It does, though, capture some of the sand and stuff, kind of distorting, making you look a little dirtier, less stand out. You don't stand out as much. As you proceed further in, you begin to merge into the crowd. As you're walking in, you feel something underneath your foot, almost like kind of impact the back of your heel, Tormund. And you see a long, slithering serpent of like blood red scales slither through the crowd. Like a 30-foot long serpent. Unaffected, unaware of your presence. And as you all look... all right, roll initiative.
Paul just rolling 1,000 die.
They got snakes in hell? Fuck this!
Hell no!
Hell snakes!
Plane shift.
Milk steak.
Night shift, just me! You wandered into the crowd for 2 seconds. A snake brushed your boot.
He's out.
Oh, shit.
No! Get
Fuck.
me out!
I had to roll 1,000 initiatives. Next campaign. That's TPK, baby. Oh fuck.
I do not know this guy.
44 stealth. Guidus lives. You all lose. The World of Foundation ends.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
You proceed further into the crowd.
Oh,
And as you enter into the gates, you all begin to take in the sights Guidus saw. The commerce going on with the different stalls. There's a lot of weaponry and armaments. There's some even supplies, like to live out here, as well as a strange amount of jewelry stands as well. And the center stage, the selling of souls and the numerous infernal kin of varying shades of red, all brandless, all standing up there at the base of this. It almost looks like the most gothic and Mad Maxy lamp you could imagine, as it extends like maybe it's not terribly tall, like 60 feet up into the sky, with branching umbrella-like iron cage coverings. And you now see, being under here, there's a strange musicality, like the banging of metal instruments against each other. And you notice that it's because there are hundreds of chains hanging from each of the umbrella-like levels of the tower, accompanied by multitudes of bodies, some squirming and swaying in the desert air, and some just lying there decaying and motionless, with hooks embedded in various parts of the body. You have arrived at the center of this camp. What would you like to do?
Yep, this is it.
Do we hear any
Horrible.
common?
Maybe a perception check.
It's easier than I thought.
$16. This character's bad perception. I hate it.
You actually do pick up. You guys have to maintain movement in the center. There's like this constant, almost vortex-like way that the crowd moves, and if you aren't a part of it, you're going to get swept up in it. And as you're moving around, you're facing the back of the tower where there's not an entrance to enter up into it. You make out a flourishing voice protruding out through, saying, for sale, valuable artifacts. Anybody, any sales? Shouting out into the crowd. You make it out to be a tiny, the most decrepit looking stand with metallic wares hung on like nail hooks and a sign on top written in a script you can't tell. But you see there is a infernalkin, a male, same kind of looking face as the ones you see even on the stage. His skin is almost pink hued, and he has these fiery yellow eyes. A salesman sitting behind the shop, shouting out in common.
I'm gonna just do this without even looking and walk to the.
Okay. Everybody roll me perception checks. Everybody roll me perception checks except for Marco.
22.
Okay, you make out the sign.
24.
You make it out. You make it out. Please, somebody, please fail. Please, Leopard.
Levitor.
3.
15.
You all succeed. You all see Marco make a movement, and there's a moment where you're thinking he just kind of wandered off and did it, but you all caught him. Follow him over to the stand. Exit out of the whirlpool in the middle of bodies moving and appear at this. It kind of looks like the stand from Charlie Brown, just like shoddy workmanship made out of some shitty wood. This little stand. And the infernal figure looks at you all and says,
Ah, welcome. I see you have a taste for the immaculate. Here, I have plenty of artifacts for you. I only trade in soul coins and gold and any other coin you have, so please, what would you like? What do you need?
you see all over the stand, there's just like bangles, like wrist bangles, hoop earrings. There's like one knife, like a kitchen knife or a butter knife on a rack. You see there's this strange, it's just like oddities, just a bunch of weird little doodads and trinkets. You see there's a little box that looks like it kind of looks like a clamshell, and it's on a stage, and as he's like motioning to it, it starts to sprout legs out the side of it and walk across, and he smashes it with his hand and says, "Oh, lunch almost got away," and sucks this like gooey flesh out of the middle of it. You see his feigned smile. Make me a investigation check.
Can I help him? Can I help him with this?
Sure.
Since we're all right there.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
advantage.
It does appear that a lot of these things are like trash from like there's like definitely like 3 forks that are like welded together to make it look semi-artistic, but they're just like the shittiest 2-pronged forks. A bunch of like awful jewelry.
Does it kind of look like a glaive?
There's no weapons apart from the butter knife here. Marco, you approach first as being the one who spotted this out, and he says,
Yes, take a look. All these treasures from beyond the veil. All of these could be yours, make you a very luscious looking individual. Powerful lord. What would you like?
I'm gonna
Is it-
like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna put my hand just like gently on the table and just kind of like drum my fingers a little bit. And I want to give him like just the most wicked smile. And I want to say, what's the craziest thing you got here?
Oh.
Roll me a persuasion check.
I'm gonna look over to Guidus and tell him. Did he say the veil or something?
Did what?
Did he say something about a veil?
I don't know.
Well, I have really good persuasion, but I rolled a nat 1.
Nice.
What are you doing, man?
I'm
Huh?
so sorry.
What are we doing?
That could have been excellent. I'm sorry.
He says,
You see, these wares are not brought in by the most esteemed individuals. Rogue reapers that come across and just grant me minor treasures. The wildest thing I've ever sold, though, was one time a reliquary from a sort of strange religious aperture there in the material plane.
he basically describes to you a chamber, like a toilet, but it's a pot. And you get the sense that he's putting this like wall up of like, I'm just gonna be the fakest dude because I don't trust you're gonna buy anything.
Well, it's not exactly what I was thinking of, but thank you for being honest with me.
Oh, the marketplace is no place for honesty. Everything I tell you is merely as it is, as is most places. So, I have here, as your friends approach, oh, you have more compatriots. Here,
He takes off one of these little wristbands that's just a metal loop, holds it out.
here we have the most strangest of creations. A sort of binding material. They would place this around their waist, and it would constrict them. Punishment
Device as you approach. He is completely untaken back by the way you look, by anything. Is trying to pawn you devices.
Is he trying to sell me a belt?
He's trying to sell you a bracelet. and
Ah.
Say it was like a torture device for their waist.
Yeah. That's a blur.
He's just blurry as fuck.
I activated blur.
Well, boys, I screwed that one up. I'm gonna slide to the back of the group.
I guess I'm gonna walk up behind Marco and kind of like put my hands on his shoulders, and then kind of step right beside him, and kind of look at all this stuff. And he's like, "Wow, these are incredible! I'm surprised you're able to find all these incredibly rare artifacts. You know, I have quite a trade myself, and I may just have to take your whole lot if you don't mind."
Are you trying to persuade him, or
No, nothing right now. I'm just trying to make conversation, see how he
he's
reacts.
very interested in you as you walk up, as you begin to take in this.
He goes, see, finally a businessman. Yes, all these treasures could adorn your halls, no longer skull thrones and pikes with faceless visages. Now you could have treasures lining your hallway. And who knows, maybe you could become a warlord with all these treasures. Now, please, if you look at this,
And he picks up a mug.
and he says, hold it upside down. What does it hold? Nothing.
Nothing.
Turn it upside down, it can hold the world. A magical artifact.
He begins to pawn a mug.
I'm gonna, as this is going on and on and on, I'm gonna stop him for a second. Like, you see, me and my friends, we are quite the travelers. I'm afraid we haven't been here. This is our first time at this wonderful, marvelous spectacle of a market you have here. So I was wondering if you could provide us with a little bit of background of what this place is, what else we may be able to find.
Well, if you're not from around here, I'd have to guess you're from the lower levels. As here in Avernus, mercantile is the only business that exists here. You belong in the Bazaar of Limbs, the most premier slave market here, where the most keen of minds can come and grab resources,
Need a big cheeky smile comes across.
as well as maybe make a few coin here and there for the city.
Every breath he makes is very raspy, and you get the feeling he's a little disturbed. Like there's like a little, like there's something off about him, if you could say so about a devil person. Not that he's on edge, he's just kind of jittery the whole time, and he's looking all over, very shady. Kind of. Make me an insight check.
If you have anything to sell or buy, this is the place underneath the shadows of the Rip and Tear monolith.
Do you say reap and tear or rip and tear?
Rip and tear. Rip. You can tell this dude is looking around, and he gets really nervous when any of the larger devils get close to the stall. He's like, he's either waiting for somebody to come, or he's nervous that somebody's gonna catch him doing something. Yes.
Can we get like the sense like it's because he's talking to us? Or that's why he's worried?
Doesn't feel like that, no.
Okay.
So, if you would like, I could lead you around. I could close up the shop for the and take you on a tour of the greatest slave stand here. Whatever you desire. Come.
He slowly begins to like take all the stuff off the little racks, puts it in his pockets,
Talon, thank you for
and
telling me that.
and hides it, and then like walks
I
forward
had no clue this entire
Oh.
time.
and like
Just-
tries to usher you.
Interesting.
Whenever he starts doing that, kind of look throughout the crowd and stuff to see if anybody's watching him.
Make me a perception check.
I just got a text from Talon, who's watching the stream, I guess. He said, I can't hear your dumbass through the stream. So I guess my audio hasn't been on this whole time. So you can hear everybody else's audio except mine. And I looked on my on my OBS, and for some reason it had my mic like source, but it wasn't my mic. It was just nothing. So,
Oh damn!
yeah.
Classic Torment.
Whatever, I guess.
That's Tormund.
I'm gonna double check that I can be heard now.
24 perception.
You see, wandering through the streets as he's beginning to pack down his little stand and put everything in his pockets. You see there is one devil that is walking through that is literally just has a skull for a head, like a large devil skull, fire emitting out of its eyes. It has a fur-coated body just rippling with muscle, and is walking through dragging like a column of souls. No weapon on him, barely wearing a loincloth, but this creature that's probably like 15 to 18 feet tall and as bulky as those large ogre-like undead you fought, like just this rippling. I mean, he looks like the Balrog walking through the streets. And you see in his chest are burnt into the fur, branded a large symbol with like 3 claw marks crossing each other, and the whole crowds are making way.
And that was my next question. Does this guy have a brand on his neck?
The salesman,
Yeah.
make me a perception check.
Another one?
Yeah,
Persuasion.
actually, investigation.
I'll take it. 25.
He does have a brand on his neck. It's one dash with like a crescent at the top, almost like a really bad sickle looking thing. There is something off about it that doesn't look quite right
His
as
brand?
he's moving through the crowd. Yeah. He starts moving through.
Come, hurry, this way.
As he's moving through, and you all now hear like the shifting of a crowd covered in chains and a long step of this giant devil wandering.
Are we following this guy, y'all?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
For now.
We are.
All right.
All right, you all begin to follow this individual run, basically sprinting through these alleys and stands, departing from the main center and exiting towards further deep into this encampment. He doesn't even pay attention to see if you're actually like following. He's just like maneuvering, and you guys are able to he's not like the sneakiest dude ever. And you guys have fought and done way bigger things. It's very easy to keep track of him. Before he ends up at a set of cages set up in a way to make kind of like a alleyway home, you know? Like a home out of a cardboard box. You get the feeling this person lives out amongst the streets. And this is his like little safe haven he created. He turns around.
Oh, yes. Well, I hope you enjoyed your tour of the market square. Now, if you would like to continue with your tour, we can go and wander through the cageways. Whatever you would like.
He begins to take something out of the little cubby hole and a bag and start. You hear just like the metal that he had in his pockets. Ding, 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 like shattering against, and he ties it up and throws it in the hole, moves the box again, looks at you all, really cagey in the eye, moves the box, puts it back in his coat.
Yes, okay. Payment up front. It'll be 5 soul contracts or 180 gold if you would like.
Well, before we get too far, if you wouldn't mind telling us what the big tower in the center is.
That is the Ripenter. That is where the Soul Lord remains.
The Soul Lord.
People who
The
get
Lord
brought in there,
of Souls for this province, yes.
what happens when they get brought in?
They are not brought in. That is just where his home lies.
So why would anyone need to go there? If
I-
someone were to go.
The most valuable of the Reaper's harvest go there to be appraised. Individuals that have not seen very strong souls passed on. They are all appraised by the Lord of Souls before they make their way towards the city.
Do they get sold on these auction blocks surrounding the base of the tower?
Some of them, the more prudent ones, get written and sent straight towards the city.
What happened to the ones hanging outside?
Those were rival lords.
It's a lot of lords.
Yes, yes, yes. The Infernal Plane is a place ripe with deceit and backstabbing.
How much would somebody get sold for that gets brought into that place to get appraised?
I would not be able to appraise. It is beneath my power. I am a lowly figure. Dare not. But that would be up to either the auctioneers or the Lord.
But do
So
all slaves that go in there always come out?
I do not know.
So let's just say if we had a certain precious item to take up and see what we could catch for it. Can we just walk in and present? Do we need an invitation?
You would either have to have a bounty set forth, or if you had an auctioneer who could sponsor, if you had cargo you felt was worth enough, you might be able to schedule an appointment with the grand appraiser.
Is there an area here, like a board of bounties to look for?
No, these are only given to the hunters, the employed by the grand appraiser. You all ask so many questions. I will demand payment now, or I will leave, or I will report you to the appraiser's guards.
Would I happen to get any money if I brought you to that guy that was walking down the street that we ran away from?
Roll me an intimidation check with advantage.
I'm so glad stream can hear me now. How embarrassing.
It's okay, buddy.
We'll go next time.
We'll remember.
Talon was like,
We know.
those first 2 hours weren't important.
22.
22. If his pink skin could go any paler, there's a moment of fear that collapses him.
You are in league with Alastian? You would dare not. You wouldn't even be able to presence. You are lowlier than I, wanderer.
He begins to walk up and backs up in cages. He is now. There's a slight hint of hostility.
I'm not saying that I'm going to do that, but I think you may be able to help us out. Maybe we can help you out a little bit, but don't threaten us in any way or demand money out of us. You're in no position.
He.
Fine. Ask your questions. There will be payment, though. Payment must be. That is the way of Averni. I help you give answers to questions, and I must get something in return. Thus is the law of this land.
I'm gonna reach into my pockets and just pull out whatever few little tokens that I had picked up from some of the people we had gotten or defeated earlier, and just not knowing what they're worth or anything, just kind of toss all of them towards them. There's maybe 3 or 4. And that's it.
He catches him. You see, he runs his fingers over him, and then like a collector, starts rubbing them.
Fine.
Puts him into a side satchel containing maybe 2 and the silver and copper. It's normal copper and silver.
What does the brand on your neck mean? And why does yours look different than all the others?
Infernal kin must be marked. They are claimed by lords. The hierarchy must be maintained. Only the strong get to be themselves. You cannot exist here as one of my kind without one. And mine is just old.
And you see he kind of covers it a little bit. Aside.
I've been here for a long time, since the first birthing.
How many current lords are there?
On Avernus? Thousands. But only one controls the rest. The High King, the Grand Ruler, the Collector of Brass, the Warlord of the City of Brass.
Warlord of the city of what?
Brass.
In the city of Brass, that's where we were going, right? That's where Kuji was from?
Just a random question here. If one were to kill the Soul Lord, would that make them the Soul Lord?
Yes, that is the rules. The strongest take leadership, the weak are ripped of their strength, reduced down to ashes, back to imps, to lemurs.
Did he say the warlord's name or just the titles, basically?
Just the titles.
Just the titles.
What is the warlord's name?
I do not know. None of us know. Not us on the outskirts.
What are the chances of us getting somebody out of that tower? Is it something that's
Impossible.
ever tried?
If it is appraised and delivered out, it is high cargo already. The hunters who attained whatever it was would already be in possession. And if it was high enough value, the Soul Lord would keep it for himself in his treasury on the top floor.
So if it was delivered to the city, what kind of, like, who would help deliver that? Would it be a large group?
No. How valuable would this thing be? Sometimes they are delivered in wagons. Only one other time.
And he starts to like shudder a little bit.
Only one other time was the Soul Lord granted permission to accept the Warlord's pet.
Would the physical appearance of somebody similar to you, does that affect price or rarity?
The colorations are nothing of worth.
Even if they're
Some
dark?
believe the darker red skin or more pure blood, the scent.
What about
The
black?
dark. There is no black infernal kin.
I think that might have been why. I kind of look back at everybody. Might good reason of why he was taken then.
And he's unbranded.
Well,
You've seen
We don't know
a
that.
black inferno?
I wouldn't say black. Maybe a dark gray. I don't believe
That
it's
would-
what you're referring to as. If they don't exist, they don't exist. We only saw it from a distance.
They don't exist amongst us. But the records of us, the firstborn, was dark of skin, gray as the sky, as ashy as the volcanic plumes that line the city of us. the first son and father, the first of our lineage.
If
So
we
with the
were
Soul
crazy
Lord-
enough to get up in that tower, is there a way? Obviously, we would be able to pay you for this information.
The only way I could imagine, you are in a marketplace. The Grand Place Praiser, the Lord of Souls, only cares about how much wealth he holds and the interesting inventory he can acquire. You wish to get into the tower, you must have something worth buying.
What was your name, by the way?
My name.
Ooh. That's tough. I'm gonna say curse. He does say a name in another language, though. There's another one, but then he says curse.
So let's just say if there was a black-skinned creature of your own, would the Lord of Souls keep it as a pet, as you said? Or would they have to, would we be compelled to send it to the king at the City of Brass?
No, the warlord, he would have brought ruin here if that creature existed and was hidden by the soul. They are not worshipped or admonished here. They are disgusted. They are reputed by him. The betrayer is what they call him. If that creature was here, the Soul Lord would have no other choice but to send them immediately to the City of Brass, under threat of death.
Would this be a obvious caravan out of the city to bring something like that to the City of Brass?
No, the warlord would pet, and he would ravage this camp, like he did so many years ago.
You see him like start to like flash.
All right, I must go.
And he starts to walk away.
Yeah, kind of sounds like what? It's impossible to hit him in the tower, and then we can't hit him en route if they take him. What's the play here?
Seems like we might be able to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, first off, do we let this guy live or no?
Is he actually walking away right now?
He's like walking to our corner, and you see him like investigating this set of like cages.
So he's not.
My
So he's not getting.
Um,
He's not getting
earlier-
away.
as he's kind of walking away or whatever. Earlier, when you were at your stand, you said that you would trade for these coins or for gold.
Yes.
Would you
Both are valuable.
Would you say they are 1-to-1?
No.
Which
No,
one's
soul
more valuable?
contracts are worth infinitely more.
Those coins we gave you are worth more than the gold.
Yes, the contracts, yes.
Would the sum of around, I don't know, 900? How big of a fortune is that?
That is a mighty sum. You could own thousands of slaves with that. You could trade enormous wealth.
No.
Down, girl.
I mean, Not nearly as much as the warlord, or not even the souls. Maybe the Lord of the Grand Reef, but it is a incredible sum.
Has anything ever had that bounty before?
Yes, once. A creature. Its soul ripped from the primal material. Enormous and powerful. Nearly controlling its soul, it took legions of both the bard, horned, and the bone devils. Hold it down and chained it to us. And that is when the warlord brought it to drag it back to the city. A ferocious creature.
What was it called?
I've never seen a beast like that here. Almost reptilian. Long tail, ferocious snout, wings as wide as scales almost shimmering of silver.
Familiar at all?
Does the term dragon ring a bell to you?
No, what is that?
Okay.
What Curse appears to be describing appears to be silver dragon.
What was the first word you said? Cut out.
Silver, enormous silver dragon.
Damn. They got that
Huh.
thing?
How long ago was this?
Hundreds of years ago.
Did I ever get like a rough count of how many soul contracts I have in that satchel?
Do you want to count them out right now?
No. But
Stacking
like,
them
Pours them
behind
on the
us.
ground.
like roughly when I opened it, like,
Like more than 500 at least.
goddamn.
Like you guessed 800, but you didn't really count it. It's a huge.
It's a huge bag with a huge sum.
We could have our own army.
That's what we should do. Get an army.
That's what I'm saying. We should rise up.
Jesus, are we about to start an insurrection right now? All right, I want these many.
We'll take the lot.
He as he's discussing this creature, he shudders and he says,
Thus is the curse of this place, so to speak. Everything that dies is lost or forgotten, ends up here in this place to be traded, sold and tortured.
Well, that sounds terrible.
Why would you live here?
He snaps his head to you. There is no other place. Our kind cannot exist outside of this place for long.
Is the city of Brass the same as here, or do you even know?
How are you meaning?
Has he ever been to the city of Brass? Does he know it's the same as this?
Yes, that is where I was born. Long, long, long ago.
Is it structured the same as here? Is it a place of selling
No.
slaves and
Even bigger, larger. That is where the armies are fought and led to the Grand Reef. That is where the warlord takes from the streets and devours what he wants. That is where alliances are formed, kingdoms born. It is much grander than this place, even the desert, larger.
What's the fastest way to get there?
The convoy. Or the Grand Appraiser's approval. His wagons, his steeds are the fastest in the desert. But you have to will the landscape to work for you. There you fall in the river Styx, and your soul lost, falling further and further.
So you're saying we have to get permission to be part of the Grand Caravan?
That would be the way to reduce your death. Yes. Any slight against the Lord of Souls and disruption to his workings, and you will have fiend.
This might be a bit of a stretch of a question for you, but how do we go lower?
He looks at you. Why would you want to go lower?
That doesn't really matter. Can you?
Yes, but only the lords can, and only the strongest, allowed by permission of the warlord of Avernus, the ruler of this plane. The river Styx guides you, but without permission you'd be swept all. And your soul and your mind would be burnt to ash in the lava. Do not go, do not try. The lower planes are even worse. And the lower you go, the more that is forgotten, more that is lost. The more the souls lose themselves.
Does it work the other way too? That's how they travel back to the plane where all of your nice things were taken from?
Those are only special entities by the Soul Forger. Reapers. Scrappers, collectors. They take from the dead, rip their souls and bring them here. All things that die are brought here. The Soul Forgers make horrific creations for the Rift.
So is there a way for us to to become part of the caravan going to the city of Brass? Does the Lord seek him? Does he need him? Are the people to attend like that journey? Who would he be for hire?
There are some of the auctioneers on the grand stage. Their stock are allowed with carts, as they work under the souls. If you are able to persuade them, maybe they would allow you passage. Only those employed are on the Grand Caravan. Otherwise, you follow the...
Just to be clear, there's a convoy and there's a Grand Caravan.
They speak of the convoy as the long chain of souls that just lead straight to the city, just like a never-ending line. And the caravan appears to be a separate thing, like an actual like military fucking let's roll out kind of thing.
Okay.
That's the true like Mad Max, like across the desert.
Yeah, they're just in a constant like shuffle line. And then there's like a stampeding set of carts rolling through.
Sick.
As you all take this information in, you all feel this deep thud echo under the ground. The cages around you begin to rattle dust begins to fall. Curse kind of retreats down.
No. No, it is too early. It is too early.
Another big boom echoes out. And you hear shouts and screams, and you look at the tower, which just hangs over, and what looked to be like a canopy on the umbrella-like outcrops, you see winged individuals drop by the hundreds and hundreds off of the sides, like bats at night during feeding, and take over the sky, darkening it, and begin flying kind of towards the way you guys came. Just thousands overtaking the skies.
And Curse looks up and says, no. Another incursion. We have to go. We have to find safe haven. We have to.
And you hear a loud, like, boom, explosion echo, and feel an intense wave of like heat and pressure overtake you as a set of cave walls or cages basically rupture and explode. And you see a large hand made of like thousands of like tentacles explode out from behind the wall. A large cyclops-like creature with one giant mouth that goes to like its stomach opens up, and you hear a loud as an abomination of a creature brings down a thunderous hand onto your group. And next time, I will need everybody to roll me initiative.
Fuck. What's up, Curse can fight.
Tattle. The heck?
It's not looking good for Akuji.
That's not.
It's getting worse and worse for him.
I still have hope.
Gee.
It doesn't help that like he's possibly a first to kin.
Yeah.